Hi guys, welcome back to the Save and Send podcast. This is your host Roselle and
Summer.
so today we'll be bringing to you a very important topic, but I would also say that it is a very unpopular topic.
Yes, unpopular.
Very, very unpopular.
So today we're going to talk about, are you or are we living purposefully? So I would like to start off with the question directed to Roselle. Have you ever pondered about this question before? Like, am I living purposefully?
Oh yeah, totally. I have pondered about it before many times, but actually, when I truly understand what living purposefully is, right? Whatever that I have pondered about before and the things and the mindset I have about living purposefully is actually like super wrong.
So what did
Yeah.
you have before this? Like, what was the living purposefully, the previous definition and as compared to the new definition?
So basically, to me, living purposefully back then was like achieving something grand. Like
Okay.
it has to be like super impactful, like super like do something like super good out of the goodness of your heart. Like you are making a change, in someone else's life, and it has to be like super deep and meaningful. Only then I can categorize it as like, wow, that is living purposefully.
Okay.
Yeah, and not gonna lie, that was very stressful lah. But yeah, it was something that I sort of like embodied and like truly believed it. But then now, when I truly understand what is purpose and what does living purposefully mean, it is actually much more simple, much more I would say it's a way of life. Yeah,
Okay.
it's a way of life.
Okay.
And its purpose is actually us living our life with knowing where are we going, knowing that intention, knowing the why.
Mhm.
And if I were to put it as like a one word, I would say knowing our anchor. What is our anchor that keeps us grounded as we do and go about our daily lives?
Okay.
Yeah.
So would you agree that if you have a understanding of living purposefully to be something so big and grand, you tend to procrastinate living purposefully because you feel like you're not in a place to live purposefully now?
Yeah, definitely.
Okay. So you're actually saying that after you have the new understanding of living purposefully, it helps you to be able to live purposefully even, you're going through some, really big turmoils in your life. You can still choose to live purposefully.
Yeah.
Okay. So, we're talking about, are we living purposefully, right? So obviously we want to ask ourselves these questions, and we need to give some standards or some measurements to know, like, so how does it feel when you live purposefully? How do I know if I'm actually living purposefully?
Good question. So, okay, when we talk about living purposefully and how do we know, basically a lot of people, including myself, like in the past, I would measure it with like the physical outcome.
Okay.
The tangible outcome, that like, oh, okay, so if I see this outcome, then that means I am living purposefully. It's definitely not going to be very consistent, and it's like you say, procrastinate a lot, because I always tell myself, and I believe many other people also will sort of like tell themselves, to achieve that, to see that outcome, or to make sure that outcome is manifested or something, I have to do so much, right? But like now, how I measure it is that like I mentioned just now, I know my anchor, that
Okay.
which is my purpose. And when I know what my anchor is, what keeps me grounded, then when I am making tough life decisions,
Okay.
tough life decisions, like big decisions such as maybe in my career or in my business, in my marriage, my finances, right?
Mhm.
And not just big ones, but small ones as well, like maybe the friends that I make, how I choose to manage my time, my
Mhm.
schedule, and the things that I do. I always refer back to my purpose. So if I were to make that decision, then I would ask myself, okay, if I do this, will it be aligned with my purpose? Is it going to help me take one step, just one step? No need to be 10 steps, like just one step closer to achieving my purpose, to fulfilling my purpose, to bringing me to become the person that helps me live out my purpose, right? And that itself is already a measurement of me living out my purpose, because then it's intentional, then it's mindful, then it's more conscious, and there's always an intention lah. I think it always goes back to, are you intentionally living, or are you just living your life on autopilot mode, on like going by the flow, and always not sure what kind of person you are being day to day? How are you managing yourself, and where are you going in life? But with an anchor, being able to make decisions with an anchor, that totally changed the ball game for me. Yeah.
Okay, so you're saying that I'm living purposefully because I have an anchor, or rather, sorry, let me word it differently. How do we know we are living purposefully is when we know that we have an anchor. Like there is just this feeling of intentions, like we know we are doing this particular decision because of this particular reason, so there is a direction.
Correct.
Okay. Yeah, and that also reminds me of the scripture where it says if I remember correctly, Proverbs 29 verse 18, where it says a man without a vision will perish, right? So I did a deep dive in the verse itself, and the word vision actually means something to look upon, something to hold on to, right? Something to look upon, just like what Roselle said, an anchor that anchors your life. And the word perish actually can also be translated as naked, and being bare, and being somewhat of a directionless. So if you put those things together with a more elaborated explanations of the verse, it actually tells us how to identify a life that is not purposeful. Means if we do not have something to hold on to, means we're not living purposefully. We'll always feel like we are naked, like we'll feel like something is missing, we feel like it's bare, it's we're shameful, or sometimes even
unfulfilled.
Yes. Unfulfilled. So unfulfilled is a very overused word, but a lot of people say that life now is so hard, no matter what I do,
right?
No matter what I do, also I feel unfulfilled, which we both have experienced it. Topic for another day, but yes. So I'm trying to bring home the point where how to know that you are not living purposefully is when you feel like something is just not aligned, you feel naked. Spiritually you feel naked. But I just want to end, or rather, to conclude this whole session by saying that that's not the end of the story, right? God has a purpose for you. And in Ephesians 2:10, it says, you are his workmanship, you are his masterpiece. And he always create things or create people like you and me with a purpose. God has a purpose for you. God has a purpose for us. And that's why we're here, doing this podcast, Save and Send, to remind you that if you're listening, you are saved and you are sent. And any last words for our listeners?
No, I think we'll just leave that to them to digest. To ponder on, and really just reflect on your lives. Like, are there any areas where you feel like maybe you do not really have that anchor, right? Something to hold on to, something to refer to, or maybe the life that you have been living are not really intentional, right? So that is just something that we want to leave you with.
And to some of you, you may already know your purpose and is actively living out. And we just want to say, congratulations, and, keep it up. We are rooting for you. But to some of you, you may be very curious about, like, hey, what is my purpose? we actually have free guides, free resources up in our website. We will leave the link down below the description in this Spotify channel or this particular episode. But if you can't find it, can head on to our website mypurpose.my to get yourself a free copy of our free resources to guide you to a purposeful life. And with that said, see you in the next episode.
See you.